Okay, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the edit poly in our modifier stack and how that's going to help you to build certain more complex objects. So the object that we're going to look at is building a screw. I'm going to start with a plane, and I'm going to do a really low, smaller screw. We're not doing anything too big. And let's get it a little smaller. I'm going to call it a box there. I just want to center this a little bit more on the origin. So there we are. So once I take a look at this, I'm going to turn the base color darker so it's easier to read, and then I'm going to go into the view and go to edge faces. I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to build them in my edit poly layers. So here we are. We have a plane, and then above that we're going to go into the modifier stack and we're just going to put this edit poly opposed to the editable poly, which kind of flattens itself. This keeps your history for you. I'm going to go into edge mode. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of skew this and use a bend modifier to make the screw. So that's why we're doing these steps. And it just becomes a little bit easier with these steps. So the first ones I'm going to do are side here to here. So we're going to do a connect. We're going to select and make a connect this way, just the way I'm used to doing it. And we're going to go and hit our connect, and then we're going to put 6 sections in. Now you'd really want a lot more than 8 sections. 6 plus the 2 is giving me 8, but just for ease I'm going to make a very simple screw shape. And now we're going to go to the next layer up. Now I'm going to turn off the edit poly on these because I'm going to select every other one soon. I don't need to. I can leave that selected, and then I'm just going to come in and do the same thing. So these are selected, and I'm just going to hold down Control and get the top and bottom too. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to connect. I'm going to add 6, and then the other 2 give me 8. Again, this is going to be really tiny, not as detailed, but I don't want it to be confusing. Now that we have that, I want to bend this, but I really need to go in and take this and pull it on an angle and make the screw shapes. So I'm just going to hide this top layer so it's less confusing. I'm going to grab every other, let's make sure we have that selected. It just does this, it doesn't show visually. Let's see if I can get down here, and this is a glitch with the, come on, there we go. It just doesn't want to do it. It's this new version. There we go. Okay, so I grabbed every one. I want every other one, so I'm going to hold down Alt and deselect every other one, and I'm going to pull these up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull them up, and depending on how deep I want these, how far up I'm going to pull them. And then I'm just going to come back, double click on this edge, and I'm going to leave this selected, and I'm going to skew it. So we're going to go up to this level, turn this back on so we have the visibility, turn on end result, go up and put above it a bend modifier. So I know I need 360 degrees, and then we just pick the angle. That works. So this is the angle we want. I already started to move it, so when I click here, with the end result I can skew it. And what we want, let's rotate so we can get to this angle, is we're starting this way, and again I'm working on this lower level, and I want to skew it over so we go one full bend, so we're getting that screw effect. Again, you'll see that it works better with a lot more layers, but 8 is enough to give you the demo. And we have one end we're going to pick as the tip, and the other end is going to be the end to go to the cap. So that works. Now we're going to come above this, and I'm going to leave this one on in case I need to make an adjustment to this. I'm going to make another edit poly, and in this one I'm going to seal the edges. So let's come in and look and make sure we're lined up pretty good. I think we are. So we can come in here and turn on point mode. And if I select the 2 points and click weld, it's going to tell you that we have before the weld, with the weld setting at 0.1, we have 64, and then we go down to 63. So I'm just going to delete that and then grab all the points I want to weld. And I can have extra points as long as there's nothing too close related to that tolerance. And we're going to go back up to that weld setting, and it tells me we're going to go from 64 down to 58. And we're going to say yes to that. Now it just welds those edges together. Now the next thing I want to do, and I can get out of sub-object mode, I no longer need to select this side. And I want to make sure I save this. So file, save. Screw. We're going to put a taper. So again, move up to the top of your stack, come down, pick taper, and then just add some amount so you can see from what angle it's tapered. And this is the one I want, but here's the problem. You see how it's kind of angled weird? So what I need to do is come down here and go and pick my pivot point, effect pivot only, and then we want to center the object. Turn that off, delete my taper, put a new taper on. And now it's going to be tapering from the center, so it's squarer. We don't get a weird angle on it. And we just pick how much we want to taper this. So a little taper's fine. Again, usually I'd have at least 16 segments to get a nicer screw. This will work. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to close this properly. We do want to have quads and terminate it nicely, but it's just going to take a while to do. So I'm just going to put another edit poly on top. Something went weird. Something went weird. Maybe I hit edit patch or something. That's pulled above. Don't know why it got weird. Okay. And I just want to kind of cap this, but I'm going to do some bridges to save some time. And I just kind of want to calculate how many segments we need to cap it and keep some quads. So I'm going to go from here to here. And let's do it to there. That looks better. Edge. We're going to turn on bridge. And I'm really not sure what I want. So let's click on one, hold down Control. And if we do one, then we end up with 1, 2, 3 sides. So we want at least 2. 1, 2. So let's just do the 4. That should work. And we have a little bit of weird bend to it, but that's okay. And I'm just going to grab the top one and close these. Again, we have a lot of shaping to do. Bring this down to 1. But I am just going to quickly cap. And maybe I'll tuck these down a bit. So I'm actually just going to grab the verts on this side. Hopefully I only have those 3 verts, but the way it's selected, it feels like I have something else selected. There we go. And I'm just going to pull them down a little bit. Okay, so now we're just trying to build quads. So one, let's just do it. I should spend time calculating this, but I don't want to make this tutorial longer than it has to be. Yes. I know I'm going to have to go in and make another cut. I could do 2 here, but we'll just do 1. And I'm just going to, again, I'm going to get a triangle just to make things a little quicker. Alright, that's closed.